And today was the critical. We had to adopt our final written addresses, and the court was gracious enough to grant counsels 15 minutes to add-on breaks. And all counsels were able to utilize their times. And for us, we're pleased as a petitioner that counsels were able to agree with us that the testimonies by witnesses were in consonance with our prayers, that there was overvoting in several polling units, and there was incorrect collation of scores in several polling units, and that INEC failed to submit herself to our own guidelines. So altogether, we petitioned 756 polling units out of the 4,000 plus polling units. And we were glad to say before the tribunal in our deliberations that in the cases of Kennedy versus INEC, in the cases of Baba versus INEC, and also Johnson versus INEC, the Supreme Court concluded that the percentage of witnesses brought before the court does not determine the overall outcome, as long as the witnesses were able to substantiate the evidence. So for us, we are pleased with the proceedings, and we are hopeful that very soon we will get some decision in the tribunal in the next date for the court's judgment. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Your name for the record.
Hello everyone, and good evening to you. I've received a couple of calls from home, people trying to understand part of what happened in court today. You know, some are saying that they were told that motions were struck, the PDP's motion was struck, and you know, the APC is already going about jubilating that the court ruled in their favor. You know, so I'm making this video just to educate us on part of what happened in the court today concerning the motions that were struck. You see, there are petitioners and there are respondents, you know, in this matter. The petitioners being the PDP and Ighodalo, the respondents being INEC, Mondo Perolo, and the APC. So when we made our written addresses, or when we received the written addresses of the respondents, we had a problem with the written address for the third respondent, that is the APC. They failed to follow specifications as required in their written address. The specifications are that they must use font size 14 in typing their written address, and they must have double spacings, which they failed to do. So when we received the written address, we filed a motion before the courts to strike out their written address. And when they received that, they filed a counter motion to also strike out our written address for reasons best known to them. You know, and so when we appeared in court this morning, we wanted to start with those issues, with those motions that we had filed. And then the counsel to the second respondent, which is Ikpeazu, SAN, who was not a party to the matter, advised that, you know, instead of wasting the time of the courts, you know, budging on these motions and counter motions, since it was not significant and since they were just technical issues, that we should withdraw the motion we had filed against the third respondent, and also the third respondent to withdraw the motion they had filed against the PDP, so that we could save the court time and focus on the matter we had brought before the court, which was to adopt our written addresses. You know, so our counsel found sense in that, you know, and decided to withdraw the motion we had filed against the third respondent. And in reciprocity, the third respondent, the APC, also withdrew the motion they had filed against us. So when motions like that have been withdrawn, what the court normally does is to strike out the motions. So when you hear that motions were struck out today in court, this is exactly what happened. It has absolutely nothing to do with the meat of the matter. It has nothing to do with the evidence before the courts or the overall judgment outcome. It was just, you know, basically technical issues we were trying to pinpoint. And so since they were not significant, we agreed to strike out, to withdraw our motions And the tribunal, in her wisdom, struck out the motion. That's exactly what happened. And I felt it was necessary to educate our friends in the APC and also to inform Edo people exactly what happened. So we are hoping to hear from the Secretary of the Tribunal on the final dates for judgment to be given. And we are very hopeful, based on the evidence we have put before the courts, based on the testimony of our witnesses, based on the evidence, the results certified through copy of INEC. It was so baffling that INEC, could not deny their results. INEC did not bring any other evidence to counter what we submitted. So we're hopeful. We're hopeful that the tribunal will stand up to the occasion and grant victory to our friend Ighodalo, who won the rightful votes, the rightful valid votes at the elections. Thank you very much.